What is up, you sexy beasts? Hope you guys are all doing fantastically well. Thank you so much for clicking through on the video. I really appreciate it. And before we get into the video, if you're not subscribed yet, I would love for you to be part of the I'd love for you to be part. Wow, English. I would love for you to be a part of the Sexy Beast family. So please hit that subscribe button. That really helps the channel out. Today, I want to take a bit of a different angle, try a bit of a tutorial type video here in the studio. And the topic today is, how do you take better fitness photos? So I love photography and videography, also love fitness, and so I do a fair bit of those things combined. And I wanted to just share 3 tips with you on how you can take better photos with your phone in your gym, your home gym, out and about. You can really apply these tips to anything when it comes to photography. So let's get straight into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is composition. How you line up the subject. Are you shooting straight at them? Are you shooting through something? Are you shooting from above, from below? We want our photos to look unique and different. So we want to think, what's everyone doing, and do the opposite. So most people will just point their camera straight at their subject and just take the photo, kind of eye level or just straight on. So what I recommend you do is think outside the box a bit. Instead of just shooting straight on, why not bring some boxes over or a ladder over and get some height so you can shoot down on top of your subject. That's a really unique point of view that most people won't go through the effort of shooting from top down, or wanting to get nice and low and shoot that thing up. Again, you want to give the viewer something that they maybe haven't seen, a unique point of view. My favorite thing to do is to shoot through something, to create some layers in the photo. So I love to shoot through plants or trees. Maybe if you're in the gym, you can shoot through a set of rings or through a kettlebell handle. And this really just adds another layer, another component to the photo that makes it interesting and unique. So that's the first thing, is composition. Think outside the box, go through the effort of actually shooting it from a different angle. Tip number 2 is lighting. Now, most functional training gyms are in a warehouse, and there's often not great natural light. And these little bad boys, although they're getting better and better, they still don't perform that well in low light. So I highly recommend you take the athlete or the member or the subject that you're photographing, take them from the far end of the gym where it's dark and bring them towards the front where there's a door, a warehouse door or a window. You want to make sure there's some indirect light bouncing off the floor and onto their beautiful faces. You can see an example here of me in the back of the building with the warehouse door down. It's pretty dark and the lighting isn't great. And in this next example, I've put the warehouse door up. I'm standing just inside the warehouse door, so I get that kind of bouncing light from the sun off the ground onto my face, and it looks a lot crisper, and your phone will thank you for it. So that's tip number 2. Move your subject to some indirect sunlight. And tip number 3 for today is use some apps that will help you enhance your photos even more. I'm going to give you 2 of my favorite apps that I use. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and open ViscoCam. And once we're in there, I'm going to open up the photo that I took of me swinging the kettlebell with the plant in the foreground there. So first of all, what we're going to do, I only really change 2 things, and that is exposure and saturation. So first of all, exposure on the far left here is basically just how bright the image is going to be, or how dark. So I want to make sure that we get that to a place where my skin or my body is exposed well. So it's not too dark, it's not too overexposed, it's just in a good place that kind of looks natural. So that's the first thing I'd normally change. Then I'm going to go ahead and change the saturation. So we'll find the saturation tab there, and this is going to bring out the colors. So if I go all the way fully saturated, I'll look very sunburnt and orange and red. If I go all the way the other way, I'll be black and white. So again, we're looking for some good color, but something that still represents a natural kind of feel. So I'll hold it there for now. And now we're ready to add our preset or our filter. So I'll just go over to the filters and choose my favorite on here, which is G6. Where are you, G6? Here we go, G6. And once you've added the filter there and things look a bit funky, you can always go back in and adjust the exposure or the saturation. Cool, so there we go, I'm happy with that one there. Okay, so now let's open the second app that I love. It is called Lens Distortions. Now within Lens Distortions, I'm going to go ahead and open up that photo that we just edited. And one of the things I love within Lens Distortions is this option to add snow. You can basically add all sorts of things like clouds and sun flares, but within the snow tab, there's one particular type of snow here that gives you these little stripes. There we go. And it makes you feel like there's some movement happening. So obviously I'm swinging a kettlebell here, so those lines kind of indicate that there's movement, I'm moving rapidly. And I just love adding those to my fitness kind of photos. So I'm gonna add that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add one more layer, and just for funsies, we're gonna go ahead and add some sun flares. Where are we? Here we go. So I'm gonna add some nice warm light. I am standing by the warehouse door. So if you imagine there's a nice bright sunny day and we've got some warm light coming in this warehouse door, just add a bit of that. Happy with that photo. I'm gonna go ahead and export it. So let's go ahead and look at the photo and the transition has gone through. So this here's the original photo. Then we added some exposure, some saturation, and a preset or a filter. And then finally, we've added some kind of speed lines coming through, plus a bit of sun, and that's what we end up with. So that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna do a part 2 because I've got a bunch more things I can share with you on how to make your photos look more. I'll do a part 2 next week because there's a bunch more things I can share with you to make your photos look. That was meant to be a, not a, wow. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate that. And I will see you in the next video.